On May 24th, everything shifts. Archangel Michael names someone close to you but you weren't supposed to know. Watch before it's taken down. On May 24th, the heavens mark a shift, not a subtle ripple, but a thunderous turning in the spiritual realm. A divine unveiling will take place, one that will echo into your atmosphere like a trumpet blast piercing the silence. This is not a date picked by man. No, this is a date sealed by the throne, ordained, anointed, and counted among divine intersections where heaven makes contact with earth. May 24th is not just another date on the calendar. It is a spiritual alarm clock ringing over your destiny. And Archangel Michael has stepped forth to make something known, something that was not meant to reach your ears until now. A name has been whispered. A name you know. A name tied to you by familiarity, memory, or blood. Archangel Michael, the warrior of divine justice, has called forth this name not in wrath, but in protection. This is not a revelation to shame or destroy. It is a sacred dispatch from heaven to warn, to awaken, and to align you. For the time of deception is over, and the era of clarity is dawning. But be warned, not all are ready to hear. This message is not for the curious. It is for the called. Not for the gossip seeker. It is for the spiritually sensitive. If you have been stirred in your spirit before this message even reached you, you were already chosen to receive it. There's secrecy wrapped in this revelation. Divine secrecy. That's why this message will not remain in the open. Watch before it's taken down, the Spirit says, not out of fear of man, but because some truths must be revealed only to those who will guard them with silence and discernment. Do not share what you are not assigned to share. There is a stillness being demanded of you. A hush of the high. For this kind of message is not carried on noise that travels through the corridors of holy silence. The spiritually deaf will not understand. The prideful will reject it. But you who have been sensing something strange, something misaligned, something that does not sit right in the spirit, you will feel the confirmation deep in your bones. Be slow to speak, but swift to perceive. For heaven is not merely sending words, it is dispatching a warrior. And Archangel Michael does not move without orders. His sword is drawn. His message is clear. And now the time has come. Type "I receive this revelation" in the comments if this resonates in your spirit. Blessing code 2411 is being released over you now. Archangel Michael is being summoned urgently, not by man, but by heaven's own decree. His sword is not drawn in vain. His presence is not coincidental. You are not here by accident. Within the scrolls of eternity, your name has been etched, your timing accounted for, and your pain recorded. A divine trumpet has sounded across realms, and it echoes through your spirit now. Can you feel the trembling? Can you feel the stirring beneath your ribs? This is not imagination. This is impartation. The spirit realm is vibrating. The gates of revelation are creaking open. And Michael, heaven's mightiest guardian, has stepped forward not just to fight, but to reveal. He has seen what was hidden from you. He has heard what was said at the door. He has stood unseen in rooms where your name was spoken, where your light was questioned, where your purpose was picked apart by those too close to suspect. But heaven knows. Heaven has named them. And now, in these next 48 hours, what was once concealed in shadow will come into the light. You are being called to attention, not by fear but by foreknowledge. You are being called to remembrance, not by regret, but by revelation. The scrolls of the righteous are being read aloud in the spirit realm. And within these holy writings, your name is not only mentioned, it is circled in divine gold. Highlighted. Guarded. What? And that is why this message is coming to you now. Because someone close, someone who has been sitting in your presence, has divided loyalty. Their hands clapped for you in public, but their heart cringed in private. And the time of pretending is coming to an end. You sensed it. That flicker of confusion. That knowing dissonance when you try to love purely but feel unseen, misunderstood, or subtly diminished. It was not paranoia. It was prophecy. And now, heaven speaks. Michael brings a divine update, not for everyone, only for the spiritually sensitive. This message is coded for your discernment, not your distraction. This is sacred, selective, and sealed for those who know how to be still. Be warned, the content of this revelation is not designed for discussion or debate. It is designed for decision. Heaven will not repeat this twice. What you do with this message determines what opens next. Some doors will not wait. Some opportunities are only accessed by obedience, not effort. And this is one of those moments. A holy silence is descending. This is your confirmation. This is your activation. This is your assignment. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. You felt it before you saw it. The subtle chill in the room when you entered. The shift in tone when you spoke of your dreams. The strange glances. The half-hearted smiles, the way conversations would pause just long enough for your spirit to sense something unsaid. These were not coincidences. These were not mere mood swings. These were the early whispers of betrayal. And now, Archangel Michael has come to reveal the deeper layers, not to wound you, but to wake you. Because what was once confusion is now confirmation. What once seemed like misplaced emotions were really spiritual signals. They were speaking your name in places where you were not invited. They were examining your light in rooms you were never meant to enter. And heaven heard it all. This message isn't for the faint of heart. This message is for the spiritually attuned, those who have carried unspoken burdens with quiet endurance. You've been doubting your own instincts, haven't you? You've questioned your spirit. Maybe I'm imagining it, you said. Maybe I'm just sensitive. But the truth is you were discerning. You were picking up what your spirit already knew. Something sacred around you was being mishandled. This isn't about starting arguments or uncovering scandal. No, this is about understanding the holy pattern. This is about recognizing that certain betrayals are prophetic. When your atmosphere becomes uncomfortable, it is often heaven's way of showing you the end of a season. Certain people cannot go where you're going next. Not because they are evil, but because their alignment has shifted. Loyalty isn't always visible. Sometimes it's whispered behind doors. Michael comes with divine intelligence. He comes not to accuse, but to alert. To tell you plainly, someone close is not aligned anymore. And it hurts. Of course it hurts. Because you loved sincerely. You trusted deeply. You gave freely. And they misused the access. But heaven is restoring the balance. And this exposure is not punishment. It is permission. Permission to release. Permission to elevate. Permission to walk forward without apology or explanation. This is not the moment to confront. This is the moment to discern. Let the truth rise without interference. Let God unveil what was meant to surface. This betrayal is a signal, a divine marker that your next level is now demanding a new circle. And as hard as it is, it's holy. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1516 is now activated. This is not drama. This is divine. What you are experiencing is not random disruption. It is orchestrated exposure. And Archangel Michael declares, heaven is allowing this so you can choose alignment. Not everything that surfaces in this hour is meant to be fought. Some things are meant to be seen, acknowledged, and surrendered. Because what you are facing now is not personal, it is prophetic. Understand this. Every elevation is preceded by examination. Every destiny shift is triggered by divine separation. And what looks like betrayal is, in truth, a sacred clearing. You have prayed for purpose, for peace, for promotion, and heaven heard you. But to grant your request, certain alignments must be revealed for what they truly are. God is not exposing this individual to hurt you. He's revealing them to free you. Free you from illusion. Free you from cycles. Free you from relationships that could sabotage your next level in silence. The conflict you are sensing has spiritual fingerprints all over it. This is not just about feelings. This is about frequencies. Heaven is revealing who's tuned into your destiny and who's working against it, knowingly or unknowingly. Because in this hour, God is requiring clarity. There can be no hidden alliances. There can be no counterfeit loyalties. This is war, not of flesh and blood, but of spirits, alignments, and unseen agendas. The enemy's strategy has always been proximity. He does not send strangers to destroy your peace. He sends familiar voices, shared memories, trusted smiles, because betrayal hits hardest from within the circle. But Archangel Michael has arrived to interrupt the enemy's whispers, to guard the gate, to clear the fog, to reveal the strategy so you will no longer second-guess what you already know in your soul. You're not paranoid. You're perceptive. You're not dramatic. You're discerning. And the reason this revelation is shaking you is because it confirms what you've tried to suppress. But now is the time to listen. The inner turbulence you feel is not weakness. It's the wind of God blowing away what no longer belongs. And Michael has drawn his flaming sword not to frighten you, but to protect you, to carve a path through confusion and lead you into peace. This moment was prophesied. This unveiling was timed. And the emotions you're feeling are valid. But they must now give way to revelation. You are not here to dwell in disappointment. You are here to rise in discernment. So stand still. Do not react. Do not retaliate. Let the Spirit work. Let the separation happen. Let God be true, and every lie fall silent. Type "I walk in revelation" in the comments. Blessing code 1777 is releasing insight and divine clarity over you. In exactly 72 hours, something will stir. A hidden shall try to confront. That which has remained behind the veil, conversations, assumptions, intentions, will now attempt to step into your path. And Archangel Michael warns, the one who was named in the Spirit is feeling the shift in the atmosphere, though they may not understand what is truly happening. They feel their control slipping. They feel your elevation disrupting their comfort. And so they will be triggered. They will not come as an obvious enemy. No, they may come with concern, with questions, with cloaked kindness. But make no mistake, the confrontation is not about clarity. It is a spiritual attempt to destabilize your forward motion, because your awakening threatens the structures they've built in silence. Your spiritual growth makes their manipulation obsolete. You must be prepared, not with words but with wisdom, not with argument but with awareness. What they say may seem innocent. What they suggest may sound supportive. But listen with your spirit, not your ears. Heaven is warning you now. This is not just interaction. It's infiltration. There have been unseen meetings, discussions about your path, talks about your behavior. And while your heart has been pure, theirs has been politically positioned. This confrontation is not your downfall. It is your deliverance. You must remain calm, grounded, and anchored in the spirit. Doors are either opening or closing, and your reaction in this hour determines which ones you walk through. Emotions may rise. Memories may flash. But do not let nostalgia override discernment. Some people are sent to your past, not your future. And if you don't let them stay where they belong, they'll drag your destiny backward. Michael has been dispatched before this encounter to clear the way. He walks ahead of you. His sword has already struck in the unseen realm. All you need to do is remain in divine posture, silent, steady, unshaken. What is meant to break you will bounce off you. What is meant to rattle you will only refine you. There is a prophetic sense of movement now. You felt it, in your sleep, in your conversations, in the way your atmosphere has been shifting. This is not pressure to destroy. This is pressure before breakthrough. Your spirit is being stretched to accommodate your next level, and everything that cannot stretch with you will be exposed. Do not panic. Do not explain. Do not chase after closure. The shift is happening because God is protecting you from what you don't yet see. Trust the sword. Trust the silence. Trust the separating wind. Type "I am protected" in the comments if this message speaks to you. Blessing code 3030 is being activated for divine covering and holy strategy. You are not to respond, only to observe. This is the divine instruction echoed from the throne, delivered through Archangel Michael. Do not retaliate. Do not explain. Do not engage. In this moment, silence is your greatest shield. In this hour, stillness is your most powerful weapon. Let them talk. Let them question. Let them speculate. But you are commanded to stay hidden in the cleft of the rock. Michael walks before you with a flaming sword, one not of violence but of holy separation. His flame does not consume you. It consumes confusion. His blade does not strike you. It strikes delay, betrayal, and spiritual interference. And now, with every breath you take in surrender, he clears paths you cannot see. He defends borders you don't yet know exist. Divine warfare has already begun on your behalf. You must trust the battle plan, and the battle plan begins with divine restraint. Pull back your energy. Guard your gates. Your presence is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. You do not need to prove your light to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You do not need to explain your movement to those who secretly resented your momentum. This is not pride. This is preservation. God is preserving your oil for the next level. The leak of unnecessary conversation can no longer be afforded. There is a time for speech and a time for silence. This is your season of sacred withdrawal. Like Christ before his resurrection, like Moses before his deliverance mission, like Elijah in the cave, God is calling you into seclusion, not for punishment, but for protection. Seclusion is where your spirit recalibrates. It's where the whisper of God gets louder than the noise of man. It's where clarity replaces confusion, and strength replaces sentiment. Affirm this in your spirit. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Say it again and again. Let that scripture settle into your bloodstream. Let it guard your thoughts. You are not abandoned. You are being shielded. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. This is a holy hiding, and heaven hides what it holds dear. They will not understand your silence, and may even mistake it for guilt, indifference, or fear. Let them. For your silence is not an absence, it is an announcement. It says, I have shifted. It says, I walk with heaven. It says, my ears are attuned to another frequency. You are not quiet because you are weak. You are quiet because the lion is roaring in your spirit, and even lions rest before they strike. Archangel Michael is standing guard. He encamps around those who fear the Lord. He watches as heaven rearranges your atmosphere. You need only stay positioned. Let them wonder. Let them watch. Let God work. Type I am covered by God in the comments if this is your moment. Blessing code 8811 is now encircling you with divine silence and holy fire. You've outgrown their expectations. You've surpassed the limits they silently placed on your identity. For too long, they defined you by your past, your pain, your process. But now, you are stepping into the power of who heaven always knew you were. You've been cocooned long enough. You've endured the hidden battles, the lonely nights, the silent prayers. Now comes the shift. Now comes the emergence. You are not who they remember, and that is by divine design. This is your eagle season, the season to rise above the noise, to soar beyond the chaos. Eagles do not waste time explaining their altitude to pigeons. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your growth, your glow, or your guarded peace. Archangel Michael says, the shift has already begun, not around you, but within you. Yes, they're uncomfortable. Yes, they feel the difference, because you're no longer shrinking to fit their narrative. You're no longer dimming your light to keep their insecurities undisturbed. You're no longer choosing comfort over calling, and that frightens those who depended on your stagnation. They can't handle who you're becoming, not because you're arrogant, but because you're awakened. There is a weight to your presence now, a spiritual gravitas. Your words carry revelation. Your silence carries conviction. You've shed the old skin, the old labels, the old roles, the old expectations. And in their place, heaven is clothing you with divine authority. You are not breaking down, you are breaking away. Breaking away from old soul ties. Breaking away from inherited cycles. Breaking away from the projections of small-minded people who couldn't recognize the prophetic oil on your life. You are not crazy. You are called. You are not too much. You are appointed for much. You are not a problem. You are the prophetic solution. And now, with each breath, you are stepping deeper into the truth of who God ordained you to be before the foundations of the world. The illusions are falling. The false attachments are being severed. This is divine pruning, and it's making room for divine promotion. Michael now stands beside you not just as a protector, but as a witness. He has seen the battles you didn't speak about. He has counted the tears you never explained. And now, he testifies in the courts of heaven. This one is ready. This one has endured. This one is rising. It's time to reclaim your spiritual authority. You don't need validation. You don't need consensus. You only need confirmation from the Spirit, and this message is your confirmation. If this message is fueling your elevation, consider giving a super chat or a super thanks. Even a gift of $10 makes a difference. Your support helps us release more content to uplift and empower. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type "I am rising" above in the comments. Blessing code 4343 is now igniting boldness, courage, and clarity within you. This moment, this unveiling, this confrontation of truth was not sudden. It was not accidental. It was prophesied. Before your first breath, before your first heartbreak, before you even met the one whose loyalty now lies divided, this hour was written into your destiny. The betrayal you feel now was seen by heaven. It was permitted not to destroy, but to deliver. Archangel Michael stands in the middle of your timeline, stretching his wings across past and future, declaring, "This exposure is not punishment. It is prophecy fulfilled." You see, long before they turned, heaven spoke. Long before they whispered, God recorded. Long before your heart broke, the Lord was preparing a revelation. And now your name has reached the divine chamber of disclosure. It's not just on the tongues of people. It's on the lips of angels. It's being spoken in the throne room. Michael has heard it. Heaven has responded. The divine clock has struck. You are walking into what has already been declared. And yes, it hurts. Yes, you would have preferred ignorance to insight. But heaven's goal was never to protect your feelings. It was to protect your future. That is why the veil is being torn right now. That is why this message found you. Not everyone was meant to know that you were chosen to hear. You see, to know the truth that sets free. Because your next chapter cannot afford shadows. This exposure is necessary for elevation. Like Joseph in the pit. Like David in the cave. Like Esther before the throne. Heaven always reveals the counterfeit before releasing the crown. This moment is not your failure, it's your formation. The betrayal was not random, it was required. Because if they hadn't wounded you, you wouldn't have moved. If they hadn't questioned you, you wouldn't have sought God this deeply. And if they hadn't tried to block you, you wouldn't have discovered how unstoppable you are in the spirit. Michael says clearly, God told me your name would come up at this hour. And it did. Your name was mentioned in heavenly places. Your name was spoken over angelic assignments. Your name was authorized for access into a new dimension. And this betrayal, it with the file unlocked. Not because you are bitter, but because now you are unbound. New divine assignments are waiting. They cannot begin until the residue of the old has been removed. You've been waiting for instruction. Heaven had been waiting for separation. And now, with this exposure, the path is clear. What was once cluttered by sentiment is now ordered by strategy. What was once delayed by fear is now accelerated by faith. This is your burning bush moment. Listen. You are being spoken to not by circumstance, but by sovereign design. And when God speaks, everything must align. Doors open. Paths clear. Angels move. Demons flee. Your name is not merely being mentioned by men. It is echoing in eternity. Receive this as holy instruction. Do not mourn what was revealed. Celebrate what has been realigned. For this is the hand of the Lord making crooked places straight. This is the voice of Michael revealing what your heart could never have uncovered alone. This is your hour of divine realization. Type "I hear heaven" in the comments. Blessing code 7770 is now releasing divine assignments and prophetic upgrades over you. It's time. Time to say yes to the next level. Time to shift from revelation into activation. Heaven is no longer whispering, it's shouting. The trumpet has been blown over your life, and now the angels await your response. You've received the insight. You felt the separation. You weathered the unveiling. And now God says, move, align, obey, advance. Destiny is not a concept. It is a covenant. It requires your agreement, your action, your obedience. And while the past has cost you much, silence, tears, confusion, waiting, your next chapter is unlocked not by pain, but by proclamation. You must now speak your yes aloud. You must now walk in the very thing you once feared. Heaven waits for your obedience, not a delayed obedience, not a partial one, a full surrender, the kind that disrupts comfort, the kind that writes your schedule, the kind that cuts ties with what no longer aligns. Your yes will cost you, but it will crown you too. You've been called to a higher place, a seat at the table that doesn't tolerate compromise, a dimension of destiny that demands maturity. The warfare you endured was preparation for the wisdom you now carry. This isn't about being known by men. This is about being trusted by heaven. Can God trust you with influence? Can God trust you with clarity? Can God trust you with assignments that will not make sense to anyone but you and the Spirit? Destiny obedience doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it comes with isolation. Sometimes it requires letting go of good to make room for God. Look to Abraham, to Ruth, to Paul. Every great shift came with great surrender. And yours will too. But what waits on the other side of your obedience is greater than you've imagined. It's time to activate. Start the journal. Write the vision. End the cycle. Move your feet. Close the door. Make the call. Sow the seed. Speak the word. Heaven will not move until you do. God is waiting on you to walk forward so He can pour forward. Delayed obedience is still disobedience, and this moment is too sacred to miss. You've been silent long enough. Your silence was power. It protected you. But now, your words have weight. You must decree. You must declare. You must call things into existence with authority. Because when you speak in alignment with heaven, angels are deployed. Contracts are signed. Portals are open. And nothing can stop what has already been ordained. Type I say yes to destiny in the comments. Blessing code 6066 is now unlocking doors and divine timing in your life. While you slept, angels move. While you questioned, wondered, wept, heaven was not idle. The spirit realm was alive with activity, motion, negotiation. You may have felt still, but your destiny was moving. Even now, the realms above are still buzzing. Your name, beloved, hath been whispered in meetings not of man but of majesty. The decisions concerning your future were not made in boardrooms, they were made in throne rooms. And Archangel Michael, who stood watch as you wept, now declares, a silent exchange has taken place. What they tried to take, peace, opportunity, love, clarity, is being divinely repossessed. The inheritance meant for you is returning. That which was unlawfully touched is now being reclaimed by the command of the Lord. You didn't have to fight. You didn't have to expose. You didn't have to explain. Because while you rested, the courts of heaven ruled in your favor. There are spiritual transactions occurring right now. Your tears were not wasted. They were currency. Your obedience was not unnoticed. It was a legal decree. Your silence was not void. It was a contract of trust between you and the Holy One. And for every betrayal, heaven is releasing blessing. For every rejection, honor is being prepared. For every loss, a replacement of divine design is being dispatched. The pain was not just pain, it was purpose. It moved things. It awakened angels. It shifted timelines. It altered what the enemy thought he had locked down. You understand. While you wept, God whispered contracts in glory. He assigned archangels to guard what was being returned to you. He authorized blessings in your name. He restructured alignments. He wrote new seasons in the ink of your tears. This is holy ground now. This moment, this message, is not entertainment. It is sacred encounter. Tread carefully. Listen deeply. You are not the same person you were even days ago. Something changed, not by accident, but by access. The veil has thinned. The spirit realm is open. You've been elevated into a new chamber of clarity. And with that clarity comes responsibility. Heaven is watching how you respond. Will you walk differently? Will you pray differently? Will you protect your oil with a fierceness? Because now you know. Now you see. Now you've heard what you weren't supposed to know, and there is no returning to spiritual blindness. Michael urges you, do not downplay this encounter. Do not dismiss what your spirit knows to be real. Confirm in the spirit what God already revealed. Speak it softly. Guard it tightly. Honor it deeply. Because the next move requires full alignment. Type I receive the holy exchange in the comments. Blessing code 7211 is now releasing divine recompense and supernatural realignment over your life. The one who schemed will see themselves. The one who misused your trust will be met with truth. The one who tried to diminish your light will now be confronted by divine reflection. For heaven's justice is not delayed, it is deliberate. And it has begun. The throne is not silent. The books have been opened. The scales have been weighed. And now balance is being restored. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of divine courtrooms, declaring justice on your behalf. This is not vengeance. This is alignment. This is not revenge. This is restoration. For what was taken unjustly shall be returned righteously. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to force a reckoning. The Most High is your vindicator. And when God clears your name, no one can cloud it again. Every lie is unraveling. Every scheme is collapsing. Every word spoken in darkness is being exposed by light. They thought they had the upper hand. They thought their silence would keep them safe. But heaven saw. Heaven recorded. And now the reversal is being written. The same stone they rolled toward your destiny, that same stone is rolling back. Not to crush but to awaken. Not to destroy but to convict. God is not interested in your enemies being punished. He's interested in your assignment being protected. This is why justice is falling, so you can move forward freely. This reversal is not small. It's not symbolic. It's seismic. It's shifting foundations. It's restoring dignity. It's opening doors that no man can shut. And it's closing access to those who abused proximity. What once blocked you is now blessing you. What once opposed you is now opening pathways before you. Archangel Michael reminds you, this is divine justice, not personal bitterness. Your job is not to celebrate their fall. It is to honor your freedom. Move with grace. Move with mercy. But above all, move forward. The record hath been corrected. The spiritual file has been sealed with truth. The delay has been reversed. The door has been unlocked. Your name is being cleared, not by man but by heaven. You are not who they said you were. You are who God declared you to be. If this message confirms your journey and strengthens your resolve, consider giving a super thanks with a gift of $50. Your support empowers us to continue delivering truth with clarity and anointing. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type "Justice is mine" through God in the comments. Blessing code 9911 is now unlocking righteous compensation and divine turnaround in your life. This message was never meant to be casual. It was not designed for everyone, only for the spiritually sensitive, for the awake, for the ones who have felt the shifting tremors in their spirit long before a single word was spoken. Archangel Michael was dispatched not to bring fear, but to release divine intelligence, to name the one heaven saw, to reveal what your spirit already discerned. Someone close to you was named, not for condemnation, not for confrontation, but for your protection. You weren't supposed to know, not yet. But heaven overruled the silence because you were ready. You had matured. You had been faithful in the quiet places. And now, because of your readiness, the scrolls were opened early. The veils were pulled back. What was hidden has surfaced. What was whispered in darkness is now exposed in light. And you are not broken. You are not abandoned. You are not cursed. You are sealed. Sealed by divine decree. Sealed by the presence of the Most High. Sealed by the fire of Archangel Michael, who guards your path with a sword of flame and a shield of favor. You are seen. Your tears have been counted. Your silence has been honored. Your restraint has been recorded. And the God of justice is not only your defender, He is your rewarder. What was lost will return multiplied. What was stolen will come back with interest. What was spoken against you will now serve as evidence for your elevation. And above all, you are sent. Sent forward. Sent empowered. Sent anointed. Sent commissioned to walk in fire and favor. No more looking back. No more questioning your worth. No more asking if you heard right. You did. And now you move. Heaven is backing you. The angels are with you. The Spirit is upon you. This is your hour. Rise. Walk boldly. Speak wisely. Guard your oil. And never again shrink for the sake of familiarity. You have been sealed, seen, and sent. You are rising with fire and favor. Watch what's next. Type "I am sealed by God" in the comments to receive the final blessing. Blessing code 0007 is now released as a seal of closure, clarity, and consecration over your next chapter. Amen.